So it seems. Today I'm going to be making a tote bag, and it's going to have a decorative gnome on the front, and all of the items were bought from the Dollar Tree. It's all going to be done in fall fabric, and I have the idea. This came, I want to make sure she gets the credit, from Chelsea. She sews seams. SHESEWS. She sews seams. SEAMS. She has a really awesome YouTube channel, and I watch her all the time, and I think she's fantastic. She has been showing tutorials with dish drying mats, so I'm going to quickly run you through what I'm going to be doing. So first of all, let me flip this around. So this is a dish drying mat from the Dollar Tree. On the front of it, this is a pot holder that looks like a gnome, okay? All I did is I took the dish drying mat. I made sure not to go too close to the bottom. I went about 2/3 of the way up. I didn't measure. I'm not a measure person. I just do kind of, the best I can. Anyway, I tucked the pot holder top in, and I sewed around with a stitch. I top stitched, and it put the gnome. If you can see the outline of the gnome, that is where I stitched it. So the gnome is on the front, and the way it's made, this is like a little pocket, which is super cute. This is the dish drying mat in the plaid. And what I'm going to do is I bought 2 dish drying mats in the plaid. I bought 1 gnome pot holder, and I already have some webbing, which I'm going to use for the handle. Okay, let me see if I can sit this down. Let's see if I can make this where you guys can see it. How am I going to do that? Okay, here we go. All right, so I have the dish drying mat. I've already sewed my pot holder on. So now I have a second dish drying mat, and it's the same exact fabric. I am going to make sure that I have cut the tags off. Now, this is not for selling. This is for my own personal use. I'm going to line up this the best I can, and I'm going to take some of these clips, and I'm just going to clip it together so it will stay. Now, these dish drying mats, they come from the Dollar Tree. They're $1.25 a piece, and they have great body. So you can take them and you can make them into all kinds of different items. And again, I recommend you go over to She Sews Seams, which is Chelsea. I will also put it in the comments. She does fantastic tutorials. What I'm going to do, I have went ahead and clip this together on 2 sides. I'm going to leave the top open, and I'm going to go ahead and line this up, and I'm just going to sew all the way around. I think I'm going to box the corners. I wonder if I should box my corners first. I think, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut out some squares so I can box my corners first. Let me see what I can use. Let's see. I'm not going to be super precise. I'm going to take this. This is just sewing needles, and I'm not even going to measure. I'm going to cut it to make it square. And this is what I'm going to use to box my corners. I'm going to take a pair of scissors. All I've done is put that right here. And I'm going to cut just the same size square on each. I'm cutting through both drying mats, okay? And I'm just using that as kind of a template. And now, hold on a second. Okay, now that I have the first square cut, I'm going to take this, and this is going to be my template, okay? So let me just match it up. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to do my next corner. So both of the corners are going to be cut. And they're going to be cut just the size of a square. And then I'll show it to you. And what that does is that boxes your corners. So this is what my bag looks like now. It's all clipped together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew two sides. Let me make sure it didn't slip. I'm going to sew the two sides. Okay. And then where I cut, I'm not going to worry about where I cut the corners out, but what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put my stitch length back down to about 3. I had it a little bit more. Anyway, I'm going to sew all the way down the side of each of the drying mats. I'm going to skip where I cut the corner, okay? I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm just going to sew the bottom together. So I'm sewing both sides, and I'm sewing the bottom. This is going to come together super fast, and at the end of my stitch, and at the beginning, I backed up to lock it, okay? So I've got my first seam sewed. I'm going to cut that. And again, all of this came from the Dollar Tree. It is 2 drying mats. If you want to, you can get fat quarters and line the tote bag. But honestly, I don't see any reason to line it because it's nice on the inside. So I'm not even going to line it. So anyway, I've got the first one sewed together. And now I'm going to skip the part I boxed. And I'm going to go to the bottom. And again, I'm going to back up. I have my needle in the middle. I am using my presser foot as my guide. I'm backing up when I'm starting and when I'm stopping. I'm using the Singer Heavy Duty. It does not have any problem whatsoever going through the drying mats. And I do not need to use a walking foot. It does just fine without a walking foot. And this is going to be a fall tote bag. I'm using 2 Dollar Tree dish mats, 1 Dollar Tree pot holder, which is shaped like a gnome. I have my sewing machine, of course. I have clips to put it together. Now, I'm using my presser foot as a guide. I'm lining my presser foot up with the edge. Let's see if you can see that. With the very edge of the mat. My needle is in the middle. So it's giving me maybe about a 1/2 inch seam I'm not measuring. I'm backing up where I'm starting. And this is my last seam for my bag. The next seam that I sew will be when I'm putting the bag, when I'm boxing the corners, okay? That'll be my last seam. And then the only thing that I will need to do is put on my webbing that I'm going to use for handles. But if you want to, you could use fat quarters and you could sew those. You could just fold them and make them into a handle. You could use some fusible interfacing to make them stronger. But I'm not going to do that because I have a bunch of webbing. You can get it on Amazon, but I got mine on Facebook Marketplace. So I'm just going to use that because it's super easy. It's already made, you know, that kind of thing. Okay. So I got my bag all put together. I've got my pot holder stitched to the front of it. Once you stitch your pot holder to the front, you just put your bag pretty side to pretty side. Then you cut out a square at the bottom to box your corners. Okay, so, all right. So now what I need to do is I'm going to go where I've cut these squares out. I'm going to pull them apart. I'm going to line up my seams like that, and I'm going to sew straight across. And that is going to give me a box corner. I pull both of these out, and I'm going to go ahead and put my clips on them. And you want to make sure that when you sew, you want to use the same size seam, so it will be the same, okay? I'm opening up my seam at the bottom. I'm opening all my seams up, and I'm just trying to nest them. And I'm going to go straight across, and I'm going to use my presser foot as the guide again, so I can try to make these seams even. All right, let's make sure I get this. I'm gonna use 3 clips, so I have it clipped together really good. See, it's clipped together just like that. I'm gonna move my needle. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna move the needle all the way over to the left. I did have it in the middle. So now I'm going to have it in the left, so it'll give me a tiny bit more of a seam. I'm lining my presser foot up at the edge of the bag. I'm putting my presser foot down. Again, I'm going back and forth. I want to back up because I want this. Okay, now let's see what happens. We're going through a good bit of seams right here. So let's see if this will make it okay. You might have to crank your wheel, or I might have to use, there we go. Okay, with my heavy duty sewing machine, I'm going through it pretty good. But again, this is a heavy duty sewing machine, okay? If you don't have the heavy duty Singer, you might have to manually twist your flywheel, or you might have to use a tool that we call the hump jumper. But anyway, I backed up. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. I thought that might happen. Okay. Let me show you where I sewed this seam together. And now I'm going to sew the seam on the other side. So here's where I sewed it together. Okay, and now I'm opening up the seam just like I did last time. I'm pulling this open. I'm trying to nest my corners, which basically I'm just opening my seams up and pressing them flat. I'm going to put 3 clips on here. The bigger you cut your square, the smaller it makes the bottom of your bag, but it does make your bag square. So this is going to be a tall, I don't know what this is going to be, a tall bag with kind of a square bottom. Okay, we'll see. All right. I ran out of bobbin. Okay. Let's see if I've got another bobbin made. Wow. How did I run out of bobbin? You know what? Wow. That rarely ever happens. I ran out of bobbin as I sewed my last seam. Huh. Wow. All right. Let's see if I can find another bobbin, because I don't want to wind a bobbin. Ugh. Let me see. Maybe I'll have one with just a tiny bit. Here's one with just a tiny bit. Okay, this should be enough, I hope, to get me through. We'll see. Okay. If it's not enough to get me through, y'all, that's going to be messy. Okay. All right, let's see if I'm going to be able to just sew this little bit. And again, I'm going to use my presser foot as my guide. Let me scoot this way down. All right. We're going to need to back up. Let's see. Okay. Go straight. And back up. And go straight. Take my clips out. Sew over the thick part. Go all the way to the other side. Go backwards. Okay, then I need to cut my threads. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut all of my threads, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and turn my bag the right way. Now, I may go back. Let me make sure that that caught. It looks like it caught. Let me look on the inside of the bag. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my bag the right way. The only thing left is putting the handles on the bag. So let's flip this bag. And I do have a video that shows you how to attach handles to a tote bag. Okay, let me poke my corners out. This would also be, it would be a cute little trick-or-treat bag. And I think I might, yeah, it'd be a cute trick-or-treat bag. Okay, so standing it up, here's what the bottom looks like. It's a square bottom. Okay. There's the square bottom. There's the tote bag. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, what's the best way? Let's do it this way. There we go. Y'all, there's the tote bag. It's tall. It's skinny. It's got box corners. It's got a gnome face on the front. I'm going to go ahead and probably what I'm going to do is maybe turn the bottom of it like that and attach the bags to the handles. I'm just going to use webbing for the handle, okay? So there's my bag all stitched together. It's a nice tall bag. It's kind of skinny. It might be a little bit shorter when I go ahead and put my handles on it, but I will take a picture and show you the handles on it. But this is the bag. There's the inside of the bag. You can see the seams on the inside, but they're small. The bag is brown. It's the back of the dish rack, dish mat. Again, this idea was inspired from Chelsea at She Sews Seams. She Sews Seams. What I can do, I can turn this down, and I'll make another short video when I'm attaching the handles, but I do have a video that shows you how to attach the handles, okay? And I will also take a picture of this when it is finished so you can see exactly what it looks like. So thank you for watching, and part 2 we'll be putting the handles on. But basically, this is a real easy way to make a tote bag. It is just out of a two dish drying mats. The pot holder is used to decorate, and this is actually a pocket. It'd be a perfect pocket to slip your cell phone in. Okay, so more to come. Please like and follow for more. I like to have beginner-friendly sewing projects. Have a great night.